Hi everyone. Today's topic for discussion is regression analysis. Regression is a statistical method used to model and analyze the relationship between a dependent variable and one or more independent variables. Let us start with an example. Most of us love to eat ice cream. Did you ever think of the parameters which can influence the sales of ice cream? We can easily observe that temperature is one of the parameter which can influence the sales of ice cream. Usually in a cold climate, people will not eat as much as ice cream during summer. We may not be interested in the sales part, but the salesman, they'll be curious to know the various parameters affecting their sales. So one such storekeeper has kept the record of ice cream sales during different seasons. He has recorded the temperature and the number of units of ice cream packets sold. One such data is shown in the table. So in this case, temperature is one of the factor which is affecting the ice cream sales. So temperature can be considered as an independent variable and ice cream sales is dependent variable. So independent variable can also be called as explanatory variable or predictor variable, input variable or control variable. So all this means the independent variable. Dependent variable is also known as outcome variable, predicted variable, target variable or response variable. So temperature is an influential parameter which affects the ice cream sales. If the temperature decreases, ice cream sales will decrease. But there might be other parameters which affecting the sales, like school holidays, the sales will be more, but during exams, the sales might decrease. So all those parameters will influence the sales, but we all know temperature is going to be one of the critical parameter which influence the ice cream sales. So let us study how this temperature affects the sales of the ice cream. So we have only one independent variable relating to the dependent variable. If you take other parameters, you will have multiple independent variable influencing the dependent variable. So you can have multiple variables like temperature, school holidays, and exam days. All that might be affecting the ice cream sales. So you can have multiple independent variable targeting a dependent variable, which is ice cream sales. Let us study the most influential parameter out of all these, which is going to affect the sales. So this is only one independent variable is involved, and you can use Trendline to analyze this. A simplest form of regression analysis is using a trend line. When more than one independent variables are involved, Trendline fails to produce in-depth statistical analysis. In that case, we have to go for analysis tool pack, which is provided in the Excel. So let us find out the relationship between this temperature and ice cream's sale. Now let us plot a trend line now for this data. So select this data and go to the insert. You can go for a scatter plot, insert a scatter plot. Let us increase the size. Now for this data, I'll fit a trend line. So I'll go for a linear trend line, linear option where I am trying to fit a straight line through the given data. This is the trend of variation, and maybe the sum of the data are scattered around this trend line. Let us display the equation on the chart and also the r squared value on the chart. I'll change the size of this to say 16 and make it bold. So this will display the equation. So this shows the prediction. So y, that is sales, is a linear function of this temperature. So this part is a slope, 576.54 is a slope, and this is a intercept. Intercept in the sense when the temperature is zero, it will give the sales. But in this case, this doesn't give a meaningful result because when temperature is zero, it is giving sales as negative value. So this is not valid outside the range of this temperature because it's only applicable for the range of temperature. Range of temperature in this case, it is 14 is the minimum and 34 is the maximum. So within this range, you can interpolate and get the values of sales using this equation. But beyond this line, the equation may not produce a meaningful result. But within this also, there will be fluctuation in the prediction. This line is the predicted value. Suppose it's 20, temperature is 20, you are getting 4000 as the sales. So on this line, this is the equation of this line, trend line. So some of the data is beyond this line. It is going outside the line. When the temperature is 23, actual predicted value is less than 6000, but actual value is 6000 and more. One of the value 23 is giving 6000 as a sales, and another value 23 is giving 6400. So both the values, actual values, are beyond the predicted value. So this also gives a small amount of error because this straight line is fit considering all these data. So the predicted value and the actual value slightly differs. So this difference is not explained by this independent variable, that is temperature. So the model is not able to explain this variation or variance in the data. So only to some extent it is able to explain the variation, but not fully. So some variation is coming from the predicted data to the actual data. So this variation, to what extent the variation in the predicted value from the mean value, that variation, how much it can be explained is given by R squared value. Here R squared value is 0.9775. That means 97.75% of the variations in the sales is explained by temperature. So, but it's not able to explain completely. Complete variation is not explained because even other parameters will be affecting the sales. So R squared value is an important parameter which decides the goodness of the fit. So R square 1 means all the variations in the data are explained by the temperature, that is a independent variable. Whereas R square is equal to 0, none of them is not explained by the independent variable, and such model is not at all suitable. In that case, independent variable is not related to the dependent variable. So higher value of R square is desirable to have a better relationship between the independent variable and dependent variable. So trendline is a simple form of regression analysis which is not suitable for multiple independent variables related to a dependent variable. So in case of multiple variables are involved, you can go for multilinear regression, which is available in the analysis tool pack of Microsoft Excel. So here I have shown that influencing parameters like temperature and holidays both might be influencing the ice cream sales. So if you are to model this and find out the relation of these two independent variables with the sales, you should go for a multilinear regression. So you can use this model to predict the sales for a different temperature. So for predicting the sales, that is also like once you get the equation, you will be able to predict the sales. So let us predict the sales for a different temperature. So I'll enter the temperature here and then I should get the sales here. Now I'll format it. Okay. Now temperature, if I enter here, I should get sales. So sales is equal to what is the slope, that is 576.54, into the x value what I entered, that is a temperature. I'll enter the temperature here. So that is in the S5 cell, minus 7525.7. So here you are getting minus because x value is 0. X value means temperature. Temperature is 0. You are getting negative sales. That is not possible because it's outside the temperature range. So extrapolation is not suitable. Only interpolation will give a appropriate result, but that too with a little amount of variability. Now I'll give the temperature as 16. Now, so when it is given 16, the sales is 1699. Let me give another temperature, 30. 30 is not a recorded value, I think. Okay, 31 is there, 31 10,000 change is there. No, 30 is not there. 29 is there, 29 8,000 change. So this is giving a sales prediction of 9,771. This is interpolation. Using the equation produced by the trendline, we have interpolated and calculated the sales. We can also use to extrapolate if a same trend is followed. But you cannot say that the same trend will be followed outside the range of the temperature, because you cannot use a temperature of 60 or 70. That is not possible. That is irrelevant here. And you cannot use a temperature lower than the minimum temperature, that is 14 degrees centigrade, because we don't know the pattern. Only we have studied the pattern between 14 and 34, and approximately you will be able to predict the sales of the ice cream with a little amount of variance. That's all for this class. Thank you for watching.